Hello, hello. I'm so excited to be joining all of you today. And of course, welcoming the beautiful Sabrina. Just to give you a bit of background about how we know each in various communities, both hers and mine, we share a similar story where we want to just reach women and really help change the world, right, for the better of all of us. So today, Sabrina's going to be talking about all things procrastination and time management. And please feel free to ask any questions. Please let us know where you are joining us from, as well as we are streaming to three awesome communities. So, of course, we have the Healing Motherhood community. So let us know if you're watching in there. And then, of course, Mental Health Warriors. If you catch us on a replay, give us a hashtag replay and we'll definitely get back to you. But without further ado, here is beautiful Sabrina. Hi, Sabrina.
Hello, how are you? I am so glad to be
I am
here.
absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for your time. How are things going today?
Awesome. It is a Sunday morning over here. So I don't know what time it is. I think you said it's 2 p.m.
Yes, 2 p.m. in the UK
I love it. I love it.
at the
So,
moment. And I know that we have some people in Asia as well that are jumping on today. So that's like round about 11 p.m. for them. So I think we got people from all over the
yes,
world, which is
I love
awesome.
it. Well, I'm so excited to be here and I'm so excited to talk on this subject. So, time management organization is like my everything. I love talking about this. Um, Conversation, this niche, because I honestly believe that the lack of time management, lack of organization, the procrastination that tends to kind of hover around everybody's life, a lot of times is the foundation of so many individuals' issues. And I don't care what it is, if you take it back to health, you can take it back to divorce, relationships, um, money, career, entrepreneurship. If you look around and you actually like you're like, okay, what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? You'll find that the bottom layer of why you are having the issues you are having is because of not taking the time, not taking the focus or the attention during the time to focus on the things that really matter in your life. So for instance, health, right? If you're struggling with your health, whether it's mentally, emotionally, or physically, it doesn't matter, and you bring it all the way back, you'll recognize that at some point there was a mishap and we should have been focusing, we should have been taking time out of our day to be focusing on this area, whether it would be going to a gym, seeing a trainer, going to a therapist, sitting down with a counselor. And because we didn't take the time, because we didn't focus on that at a certain point in our life, it winds up snowballing into this enormous thing later on in life. And then we're looking around and we're like, why is my life a mess? Either everywhere or in this one certain area. And we like to blame it on all types of things. We like to blame it on our circumstances, on our environment, on our parents, on our caregivers, society, whatever it is. But if you really bring it down, it's somewhere there was a lack of focus during that time in your life. So, the first thing that I love to talk about is procrastination, because this is the one that usually I hear the most as far as, you know, I'm lazy. I'm a procrastinator. I don't take the time. If you're listening live, if you could just put in the comments real fast, whether or not that's something you associate with, whether or not you have found yourself sitting around your room and thinking to yourself, why am I always procrastinating? Why am I always taking so much time doing all the other things that aren't important except for the things that are important? Get in the chat. Let me know if you are one of those people who procrastinates. Now, this is what I love to talk about. And the reason I love to talk about this, because this kind of lifts the weight off of our shoulders as far as procrastination. Because a lot of times, this whole procrastination thing has a lot of guilt, it has a lot of shame that causes us to be super, super heavy, super heavy with not being enough, not doing enough, especially if you're looking around on social media. It looks like everybody's doing all the things all the time, when in actuality, no one's going to be taking a picture of themselves really sitting on the couch with their feet up, or in a total mental state of depression in bed, um, eating Cheetos. People don't do that. People take pictures and they recognize things in their life when they are on fire, when they have a lot of energy, not when they're being procrastinators. So, this is what I want to talk about. First of all, when you say yes to one thing, you are saying no to everything else. I really want you to really hone in on that and really think about that. When you say yes to one thing, you are saying no to everything else. All right. And I want you to put in the chat if that resonates with you. Does that resonate with you? As far as, oh my gosh, I've never even thought of that before. When I am saying yes to one thing, that means everything else in my life is being procrastinated. Everything. If that resonates with you, I want you to put in the chat, yes, resonates. Yes, resonates. Yes, resonates. Because this is the thing, all of this guilt, all of this shame that we're having around us, if we continue to see ourselves as procrastinators, if we continue to see ourselves as somebody who's not doing all the things and carrying around all this guilt and all this shame with us, it's going to be forever. Forever, because you can't get away from it. There's literally no way to get away from it, because even right now, right, I'm being super productive. I'm talking to so many of you right now in Terry's group. I'm helping you. I'm helping me. I'm helping Terry. Anybody on the outside world will be like, wow, Sabrina's being super productive. However, think of all of the things that I am not doing, all of the things that I am procrastinating on. So I'm not working out right now. I still haven't eaten breakfast yet. I could be working on a new program for my business. I could be working on my finances right now. I could be spending quality time with my fiance or with my family right now. So yes, productivity, yes, doing things, and also not doing a whole lot of other things. So I think that it's so important to recognize that 100%, yes, sometimes we are doing not things that are productive, but then also, yes, sometimes we are not doing the things, or we are doing things that are productive, but still procrastinating, right? Hey, Terry, if that last comment was something that I can respond to, you can pop it back up again. So, so that's the first thing that I want to cover. I want us to recognize that we need to start ridding ourselves of this guilt and this shame that tends to kind of, especially on females. This is really, really heavy on females. The mental health warriors. It's Adam. I have a question. What's the difference between someone being procrastinating and someone that experiences mental health crisis, such as depression, and struggle to get out of bed? Okay, so this is a great example of, if there is depression that is happening in your world, if there is anxiety that is happening in your world, there should be time that you are taking out of your day, and there should be some sort of money that is put towards what that means for you. So there should be a therapist, a coach, a mentor, a teacher, that you are taking the time to sit down and really flux through what that issue is for you, what that area is for you, what that means for you. See, what happens is, because Adam might be feeling these feelings of depression, or maybe he is asking for somebody else. That person is feeling this feeling right now. If they don't take the time to dissect what that means for them right now, that whole thing will wind up snowballing. So if that is put on the back burner, let's say, and we're deciding to concentrate on all the other things and just pretend like that depression isn't even there, and um not focus on that. Imagine how bad that's going to be a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, or even 10 years from now. It's going to snowball into something that is just absolutely ridiculous. And this is what happens. This is what happens is society doesn't want to acknowledge depression. Society doesn't want to acknowledge anxiety. Therefore, we feel as humans like, oh, I can't talk about this. I can't focus on this. I need to push this to the back burner, act like everything's okay, even though it's something I'm dealing with, and just push forward. And then 10 years later, it shows up as health problems. It shows up as diabetes, heart problems, weight gain, weight loss. It can show up in so, which then holds weight on our confidence, our self-esteem, who we are as a person, our voice, the guilt, the shame that we have for ourselves. And it manifests into something totally obscure, totally different than what it originated from, which was depression. And depending on where you're at in your life, that depression could not even be a thing. It could be that something else in your life 5 or 10 years prior wasn't focused on, wasn't taking the time to dissect something in early childhood, something with your parents, something with a relationship, a teacher, a coach in baseball or something that could have hindered you, never ever was talked about or focused on. It manifested into something that now looks like depression. So the only way to dig through that is to take the time to sit on it. And that's what brings me to my next point, right? So productivity. What is productivity? If you want to be more productive in your life, what does that look like? How do you actually do that? All right. So there's three things. There's three parts to being a productive human. The first one is attention. The second one is energy. And the third one is time. So you have to have your attention, you have to have energy, and you have to have time in order to be productive. Now, I'm not going to talk a whole lot on time because time is infinite, right? As long as you're alive, time just keeps going. I have been right now speaking for 13 minutes and 8 seconds. It just went by. It just goes by at the same aptitude that it's been going on for the duration of your life and will continue. So time is infinite. There's nothing you can do to control it. So when I say I help you manage time, it's not like I'm actually helping you take time and actually manage it and organize it into like blocks, like, a tower or something, and you're placing things in certain areas. What we're doing is we are acknowledging that time exists, and then we are focusing on our energy and where our attention is during the time in your day when you're awake. So there's this thing called biological prime time. Biological prime time, BPT. I want you to put it in the chat if you've heard of this before. Biological prime time, BPT, or peak energy. Also put in the chat if you've ever heard of peak energy. So first step, right? People always say, what's the first step? I don't even know where to start because my life is just such a mess. We're going to start at the very, very bottom, the foundation of you as a human, you as a person. Everybody's different. When you sit back, I want you to sit back and I want you to just take a moment. And I want you to think to yourself, when does my energy peak? At what times? So you hear this all the time. I'm a morning person, or I'm a night person, right? Or I love to sleep in till noon and then I'm ready to go. So everybody has these peaks during their day, and they're different for every person. Where at this time of the day, you are on and you are ready to go. That is your peak time, your peak energy, or your biological prime time. So, biologically, your body peaks at whatever time that is. So for me, I am a morning person. So right around 5 to 6, I wake up and I am ready to go. I am ready to go. I can take on the world. Not like I'm super energetic and like, hey, everybody, good morning. But my mind is ticking. I am awake. If something startles me awake at 4 in the morning or 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning, my brain immediately clicks on and I am ready to take on the world, right? Other people sleep in until around 11 o'clock noon, right around 1, they're ready to go. Other people are night owls. You hear about this all the time. Like I stay up until 3 in the morning. I'm a total night owl. That's where I have all of my energy at. Maybe your energy starts peaking around 8 o'clock at night, peaks at midnight, and then kind of flows till 3 a.m. Everybody's different, but you have to know when your peak energy is. So I want you to put in the chat right now, when is your peak energy? Are you morning, afternoon, or night? Tell me the times, because a lot of you will know when you sit in this space, you'll know, oh yeah, right around 1 o'clock or right around 4 o'clock or right around 9 o'clock, I'm ready to go. I want you to put in the chat right now, what is your peak times, block of time? Now, once you figure that out, that is the answer to so many of your questions. So when you're sitting around and you're thinking to yourself, I feel like I'm not getting anything done. I feel like I never have any time for anything. A lot of this, so Terry, hers is in the afternoon. So this is um, a great area for you to really hone in on. Also afternoon, I love that. Really hone in on is during your peak times. Once you figure out when or where your peak times are, that is when you need to focus and or plan for you to do your more difficult tasks, right? So let's say it's working on a program. Let's say it is creating a website. Let's say it's having working out, whatever the difficult things in your life that you know you should be doing, right? We all have this list of things that are priorities in our life. We know we should be doing them, but we're not doing them. Those things need to be done during your peak times. During your peak times, the times that I like to call zombie times, right? Or your low energy, that is when you should be doing more mundane tasks, such as calling your mother, doing laundry, washing dishes, going for a walk around the block with your partner to spend some quality time with him or her. These are times in your day when you need to acknowledge, hey, my brain doesn't work. My brain does not work in the morning. My brain does not work at night. My brain does not work at such and such time, but it's still filling in those times. So what I tell all of my clients to do is to create a master list. Every single day in the morning or night before you go to bed, there needs to be an ongoing master list that you are adding to of all of the things in your brain that are weighing you down for the day or weighing you down while you sleep, or you can't go to bed very fast because you've got all these things running around in your head. I do mine at night to clear my slate so I can just go to sleep. What are conversations you need to be having? What are things that you need to be doing? What are ideas or thoughts that are going on in your head? Get all of that stuff out of your head and write it down on a master list. Then from that master list, there needs to be a future, there needs to be a priority, and there needs to be a zombie list. The zombie list are mundane tasks that need to be done during your low energy times. Low energy. So a lot of times people wake up who aren't morning people, but they feel like, oh my gosh, I had to get all the things done because everyone starts their day at 9 o'clock. Maybe that's just not how you work. So during those mundane times, low energy times is when you need to be doing things that you don't need to use a lot of your brain work for. During your peak times is when you need to be working on your priority list, the things that are high priority, the things that take a lot of energy mentally. Now, physical exercise can go in and out of both of those depending on who you are as a person. Physical exercise, what does that feel like for you? Does physical exercise need mental capacity for you, or is it something that you can do as a zombie? For me, it's zombie. It's mundane. It doesn't mean anything for me. Other people, exercising is more difficult for them. And it does take a lot of mental capacity for them because they hate it. So, depending on who you are as a person, that exercise or that gym time or that run around the block or that Zumba class or whatever needs to be done maybe during peak times. And for other times, it needs to be done during more mundane times. And that depends on you. All right. And then the future list is an ongoing list of just ideas and thoughts and maybe remodelings for your house or additions to your business or maybe, things that need to be done, but they don't need to be done for a while. Maybe things for the car, right? Like 3 months from now, I need to remember an oil change or whatever. That's stupid, but whatever it is. So we're talking about energy, right? So energy, your peak times, along with time. Okay. Now, the third one that I mentioned was attention. Attention. I want you to put down in the chat, attention. If you have all the time in the world, and if you have all the energy in the world, but you are not paying attention to the things in your life that you need to be paying attention to, this is when we get into trouble. This is when we end up in shopping sprees at the mall. This is when we end up having arguments with our spouse because we have all this energy and all this time. And instead of focusing or paying attention to the things in our world that we need to be paying attention to, we're focusing on other things in our life that don't even matter. Okay, so if you have somebody in your life, or if maybe you have seen this in yourself, where when you're ready to go, you find yourself nitpicking on everybody else in your world, or you have somebody that's nitpicking on somebody else in your world. Number one, that's their peak time. Number two, there's absolutely no focus and no attention. I guarantee you that person does not have a list. They do not have an ongoing list of the priorities that they need to be getting done, because if they did, during those peak times when they're ready to pay attention to something, right? They have nothing to hone in on. Therefore, they're finding everything else in the world to pay attention to, everything else in the world to nitpick. They've got a finger pointing at you and 3 fingers pointing back at them because they have all this energy, all this time, and they've got a bunch of shit that they should be working on in their own life, and they're not. All right. So let me know in the comments if you can resonate with that, if that resonates with you, either for yourself, either you yourself are like, oh, wow, I totally do that. Or if you have somebody in your life who you're like, holy shit, yes, 100%. My brother, my sister, my mom, my dad, my wife, my husband totally does that. So keying them in on this focus will help them. Recognizing when that's happening, that's usually probably their peak time. They've got a ton of focus, but they have nothing to focus on, and really helping yourself or them resonate with, hey, there needs to be some sort of a list. This way, when you are in those peak times, when you are in those high energy times, you can have something that you can go, oh my gosh, I'm recognizing that I have a ton of energy and I have a ton of time right now. What should I be focusing on? Go to your list. Pull one of those things from your list and tell yourself, I'm going to work on this project for an hour during this peak time. One of the tricks that I tell my clients, because even still, they're like, yes, I get it 100%, but still having trouble. 10 minutes. That's the key. 10 minutes. If you can trick yourself, a lot of this is trickery. If you can trick yourself into saying, hey, let me just work on this dumb project for just 10 minutes. That is the key, because that 10 minutes, once you get in the roll of it, will turn into an hour or 2 hours of time. So if you can just say, hey, you know what? I hate this project. I hate this reading. I hate this program I'm building. I hate this website. I hate working out. If you can just say, hey, let me just do it for 10 minutes. And who knows, maybe it will be 10 minutes. Then the next time, 15 minutes. Then the next time, 20 minutes. Then the next time, 10 minutes that turns into 30 minutes, right? It's doing those little tiny things every single day, which will get you results. So it isn't always about, oh my gosh, I have to sit down for 3 hours and clean out the entire garage. This is just horrific for me. It could be, let me just move this one box and clear out this one box. It should take me about 10 minutes a time. Put everything away in the box, throw out the box, boom, ready to go. That one box could turn into 3 or 5 or 10 or the entire garage, or it could turn into that one box, but then doing one box every single day for 30 days would equal a cleaned out garage. Okay. So really honing in on what makes sense to you, what works for you, and then just making sure that you're doing that baby step during those peak times or during those low energy times. And when you have those two lists visual for you, right? I actually have, which I wish I would have brought it with me, but I have paper. I have it written down on paper, not in my phone. That's another thing, right? A lot of us are going tech. We have notes in our phone of things to do, but there's 1,000 things on your phone. When you go pick up your phone to do a task, which would you rather be doing? You'd rather be on Facebook or Instagram or playing a game rather than going back to your list of things to do to figure out what that is. So I do paper lists, actual paper lists that are not being distracted by anything else. No computer, no tech, no emails, no gaming, just a piece of paper. Skim down the list of what you want to be doing during your low energy or high energy and get those things done, even if you have to trick yourself 10 minutes at a time. Okay. So, I guess my question is, is there anybody who has any questions? Is there anybody who is dealing with stuff like this? And, what are some issues that I can maybe help you with? I know that Adam was talking about depression. So, go ahead and put in the chat if anybody here does have any questions. But, with this depression thing, with this anxiety thing, which this is very heavy in today's day and age, in today's society. And a lot of times this can halt us from getting anything done because we're in such a state of depression or such a state of anxiety. Doing anything could cause, an attack. And doing anything could cause your heart to flutter, or can cause just a depression of just not wanting to do anything, can't crawl out of bed. And yes to all of those things, right? Not taking the power out of any of those things. And what is a baby step towards a solution? Okay, so it's okay to have challenges. It's okay to have problems. It's okay to say, like, hey, not in the best mental state of mind. And I am taking a step towards a healthier mindset of whatever that is. So linking up with somebody, getting into the group, the coaching like this, like Terry has, linking up with some sort of coach, mentor, or therapist that can really help you dissect what is going on in your world. And then again, baby steps. It's not like going to a coach 1 or 2 times is all of a sudden going to snap you out of depression. And then you can just start getting all the stuff done. You're going to be super productive in your life. However, until you take the time to figure out what that is, there's just going to be a huge snowball effect. And this isn't just, going to the doctor and trying to be prescribed medication, although that could be part of it. But there needs to be some answers. There needs to be some inner child work. There needs to be some real movement that is happening in your world step by step. And if you think of it in just 10-minute increments, meeting up with a coach is like just 10 minutes, even though it's an hour. But that's that same exact concept of, let me just take 10 minutes to sit down and to just begin to dissect whatever this is. I have made myself a time wheel, but feel overwhelmed by it. I have every intention to do it, but when it comes to the time, I don't feel like it. Doesn't matter what my energy level is. Two things. First, what is it? So, is it something? So, there's four other, let me jot this down really fast. So, there is, what is it? Automation, delegation, elimination, and I feel like there's one more. Okay, so there's one more step to this. Well, not one more, there's plenty more steps to this. This is what I coach on. So what is the thing, right? So what is the thing that you are overwhelmed? First of all, I don't even know what a time wheel is. So I would love to know what that is. It can help me out in my business. So I've made myself a time wheel. I feel very overwhelmed by it. I have every intention to do it. But when it comes to time, I just don't feel like it. Doesn't matter what my energy level is. Great. Is it something you have to be doing? Is it something that you are putting yourself into but really don't want to be doing? First of all. Second, can somebody else do it? So there is a concept that's four. It's automation, elimination, delegation, and do it yourself. So is the thing that you are talking about, or the things that you are talking about, right? Can it be automated? So bills is a big one that I deal with clients. People that don't pay their bills on time, but there's absolutely no automation. They're still handwriting bills. They're still having to manually go into their accounts and pay their bills. That whole step-by-step process, they don't do it. They don't want to do it. It stresses them out. It causes depression. So then they put it off. They wind up getting late fees. Their water winds up getting turned off, and it becomes this whole ordeal. Can you automate it? Can you make it so that the bills are just automatically debited or credited out of your account? That's an easy one. But that's a whole bunch of things. There's a whole bunch of things that can be automated, right? Vacuuming could be automated with RoboVacs. What else can be automated? Your bills can be automated. Your calendars can be automated. Scheduling can be automated. Emails can be automated. A slew of things can be automatically done without you even thinking about it. Checking into savings, right? A savings account. You're having an issue with savings, you can automatically have it. So a certain part of your money from your checking account automatically goes into a savings account. You don't pay attention to the savings account, within a year, you got a huge chunk of money. So one is automated. Second, delegation. Can somebody do it yourself? I got the time wheel. Oh, from Terry. Terry, girl, you got to tell me about this time wheel. I am a stay-at-home princess. I'm bored of sitting at home. So I have tried to put all the things I want to do and have to do on the time wheel. But come gym time, I feel, I don't like it. Too much effort. Girl, I love it. Yes. This means that you don't like the gym. You don't like going to the gym. So instead of doing what society tells you have to do, you have to go to a gym. This is a you thing. So what do you like to do? Do you like to dance? Do you like to roller skate? Do you like to swim? Would you rather run around the block, or what? What is the holdup with going to the gym? Is it getting dressed? Is it having to drive? Is it having to walk in? Is it that everyone's staring at you? Is it that you just don't like running, don't like the weights? What is that? Where is the holdup? If it's the actual physical activity, well, then there needs to be a change in what that is. Maybe there's a Zumba class. Maybe there's a cycle class. down here in Florida, they have huge areas where they have massive amounts of cycling. So, cycling inside and cycling outside. Maybe you need to find a different thing that you're super excited about. I have one girlfriend that takes like sexual dancing classes. So like not pole dancing, but just like sexual dancing classes. She freaking loves it, and that's her exercise. I have other people who take indoor spin classes where the lights are off and the music is loud and there's graffiti all over the wall. They would never step foot in a gym, but they will 100% every single day show up for a yoga class or show up for a cycle class. Hey Terry, I didn't get to read that. So um that is you. That's exactly what I said to Candy. It's the gym, and she puts too much pressure on herself to need to go. 100%. I love that. So we're on the same page, Candy. So really honing in on what's good for you. The gym is just an option. The reason there's so many other things, there's yoga, cycling, there's Pilates, there's ice skating, roller skating, rollerblading, swimming. The reason there's all of these other boutique type workout arenas that are flourishing is because there's people that hate the gym. So when you're driving down the road and you see a Pilates place and you see a hot yoga place and you see a Bikram yoga place and you see a cycle place, and it's because those are people that hate the gym. They don't like going to a gym, so they have to find a dance class, a tap class, a swing class, a salsa class, a sexy pole dancing class to join because they hate the gym. So what is that for you? And it could even just be an in-home workout. There could be a like I used to follow this thing called Body Rock TV. Body Rock TV is probably like 15 years old right now. There was a time in my life when I didn't want to go to the gym. I didn't want to work out outside. I was sick of all the tapes. And there was this company on YouTube called Body Rock TV. It still exists. And I did like a 1-year membership with them. They had all these awesome exercises that I would just do at home or in my driveway. I'd set up my computer like in the garage or in my driveway on a chair, and I would do these awesome exercises. And that was good for me for a year. So maybe you've gone to the gym and you're just over it. It's just kind of like a restaurant. Think of the restaurants that you've appreciated in your life, and then you literally just stopped going because you were sick of it. Right? I have so many restaurants that I used to love 100% and literally haven't been there now in 5 years or 10 years because I just know over it. I'm just over it. So maybe you went to the gym for a few months, maybe a year, maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years, maybe a day, and you're just over it. So what is that new thing? So we talked about automation, we talked about delegation, and now, so delegation is having somebody else do it. Can't do that with working out. Wish we could. That'd be great. But who can do it for you? Who can do it for you? So, Candy, it could be very easily that there are things in your world that are overwhelming you, that you are having to delegate, or that you need to be delegating to somebody else so that you then have the energy to go to the gym. Could very easily be that you are, even though you say you're in an energetic time, it could be an influx of back days, weeks, months, years of just so much heaviness on your plate of this thing that's wearing you down every day that you don't even recognize. It could be mopping the floor, it could be doing dishes, it could be just organizing your house in general, that maybe if you had somebody coming in doing all your house cleaning and that whole heaviness of having to keep the house clean for your spouse or for your parents or whatever age, but wherever you're at in your life, wasn't a thing anymore. Like if you had somebody coming in every single week and cleaning your house and doing your laundry, that would help you to be able to breathe, which would then allow the time for the gym, right? But that's you having to figure that out. There might be something in your world that you need to delegate to somebody to free up the mental space. So it could be that working out is mental for you. So you need to free up some other things in your day that maybe don't seem like they're that difficult, but if you just got rid of that one thing and delegated it to a spouse or to somebody else who you could pay, then going to go work out would make it that much easier for you. Elimination is the last, or did I already do elimination? Elimination is the last one as far as not, can you just not do it at all? Can you take it out? So the gym, could you just eliminate the thought of a gym? Kind of like Terry said, just eliminate it. Just not a thing. Gym just doesn't exist for you. So then what does exist? If gym was not an option, gyms didn't exist, what would cause some fluttering in your mind, in your soul as far as doing? Is it hot yoga? Is it Pilates? Is it swimming? Is it running on the beach? Is it hooking up with a neighbor and going for a 5-mile walk? I was in a huge thing right before I broke my leg for probably about 2 years. Every single day I would wake up right around 5:30, and I would do a 5-mile walk. A 5-mile walk. I was all weird about my knees. Like I was heavy into cardio, and I was doing doing stair climbing, and my knees were really starting to bother me. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to walk. And every single day, 7 days a week, minus a couple of days off, obviously, but I would just walk 5 miles. It was this humongous loop right here in my neighborhood. I would do the entire loop. It was 5 miles. It would take me about an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending. I would get home right around 7:30. It's still the freaking morning. I'm ready to go. There was very little exertion, very little mental energy or anything. I would put on a podcast of some sort and do a loop and head back home and start my day. And I didn't have to drive anywhere. I didn't have to wear any fancy, crazy clothes because there wasn't any chafing. I could literally just wear whatever and come home. I do line dancing. Oh, I love that. But I would like to be more active during the day. So maybe because I'm already paying gym fees, I will go to a dance studio. But most days I don't really feel like I'm leaving the house and facing outside. Thank you, two beautiful ladies. I love that you're doing line dancing. That is so much fun. Oh, I haven't done line dancing in so long. I would like to be more active during the day. Yeah, so finding something else. Girl, there's dancing all kinds of times, all kinds of places. One of the things that my fiance and I have even talked about is doing something in our house. So we've actually talked about having a group of friends come over where we do something active as a group. That's kind of fun. And we've actually talked about dancing in socks. So like come over in your pajamas and socks and having a sock dancing party. Implementing just active things like that in your life, and getting creative. And this is what the list, for those of you, has anybody here done a list? Has anybody here put a master list on? Let me know in the chat, or put together a master list, or done, so called brain dumps too. I want to know, what was I just going to say? Oh, when you start doing a master list or a brain dump, and you start to clear out all of the stuff in your head and you put it down on paper, you'll start to recognize that the creativity and the brilliance that starts to really pop out of your head is so abundant. See, so many times we as humans use our brain or our mind as a storage unit. We have all these things, all these tasks, all these conversations, all the things to buy, all the things to do, plus just our memory, right? Vocabulary, phone numbers, addresses, routes to get places, all stored in our head. And what it does is it doesn't create a lot of space for brilliance, brightness, creativity. But when we can start to take that stuff out and actually put it down on paper in a safe space where you mentally and emotionally recognize that you're not going to lose it, and you will have this piece of paper and you can trust yourself that you're going to remember all of the things because it's here, it really starts to lighten your load mentally, emotionally, and physically, right? So Candy, having the issue with the gym, starting out with maybe taking some time today, and I'm sure maybe even Terry has had you do this, but taking some time today to just get everything out of your brain, and kind of recognize, where is the heavy points? Where are the points when you go past that thing on the list where you're just like, ugh, heaviness, something that I have to do, but I don't want to be doing, whatever that is. A lot of times, that thing, when you're going through and you stop and you're like, ugh, that heaviness is what is causing the misstep in your health or in the gym, because there's a guilt, there's a cognitive dissonance that's happening there, as far as, I know that this really heavy thing needs to be getting done. Therefore, anything else that I'm doing in my life that is being productive or helping me out, I feel this, I don't want to do it because I know I should be doing this other thing. And if you can hone in on whatever that heaviness is, it could be going to the doctor, could be cleaning out the garage, could be an uncomfortable conversation that you need to be having with your spouse that you're not having. I see that one a lot. Is keeping you from leading your best life, because mentally, cognitive dissonance keeps you from feeling comfortable being productive in any other area, because it keeps bringing you back to this thing. But because this thing is being covered with 1,000 other things to do, like go buy orange juice at the grocery store, but everything, it's getting bogged down, it's way down here, it's not in our focus. So we maybe even forgot about it. Maybe we're not even paying attention to it whatsoever, but it's there. But once you write it down and you're skimming down the list, you stop and you're like, that is one thing that I do not want to do. I know that I can't move forward unless I do it. There will always be a misstep in how free you are in your world to be doing these other things, because there's a block. There's a serious block right there. So what is that? Maybe getting with Terry, sitting down and really figuring out, like, oh shit, when Sabrina was talking, I know exactly what that thing is. Super heavy. Don't want to confront it. No way I can confront it. Super impossible, right? Starting to chip away at whatever that is, starting to make plans, starting to dive into that thing will then start to free some mental space for you to really start to open up and live authentically as who you are. The last part of this, so there's automation, delegation, elimination. I know I was kind of going back and forth there for a while. The fourth one is do it yourself. So if you've automated all the stuff that you can automate, if you've delegated all the stuff that you can delegate, if you've eliminated all the stuff that you need to eliminate, the last one is do it yourself. So everything else that's left, which working out would be one of those things, you can't automate it, you can't delegate it, can't eliminate it. You'd have to do it yourself. Needs to get done yourself. And if there's still a misstep there, then there's some sort of a block. And that's when you need to pull in a coach, a mentor, a teacher, a therapist on what that is, to guide you through the steps on how to break through whatever that block is. It's so important to recognize that nothing is impossible. Every single thing that you have going on in your life is possible. It's just finding out what that block is, breaking through that block to be able to move forward. That's pretty much all I have. Miss Terry, are you there? Do you have any questions? Is there anything that I should dive deeper into?
Hello, hello. I hope you can hear me. Okay, good. I don't know how to switch this bloody camera back on. Oh my God. Anyway, but I'm in the car, so I hope that you can all hear me. Thank you so much, Sabrina. Before you jump off though, I just want to ask you to please let us know where women can connect with you as well, how they can join your community as well as obviously ours. I think most of the ladies that have been commenting today are coming from the Facebook groups. There I am. Hello. And there's my husband, the driver.
I love it.
Awesome. So, Sabrina, let us know how everyone can connect with you. I know that I did have Adam reach out to me while you were on the Mental Health Warriors. And we would love to actually have you on the podcast there. So I'll reach out to you on that one. He's just in Facebook jail at the moment. So as soon as he's been released,
I love it. Yeah, so as far as getting a hold of me, so my name is Sabrina Victoria. Um, and my website is sabrinavictoria.com. So super easy. And the group that Terry is talking about is called Her Nation. So we have an awesome Facebook group that's expanding quickly. We are looking to build the largest all-female Facebook or all-female community on the planet. That's what we're looking to do for real. So all sorts of women from all sorts of walks of life, all honing in on one thing, which is what it means to be a flourishing female, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially. I have got so many little gold nuggets from the live. Thank you so much, both of you. A reminder about how we eat elephants one small bite at a time. Yes, Terry and I are working on do-it-yourself block. This has been amazing. Oh, I love that. So happy. Thank you so much for being here and for trusting me with your time. Listen, our time is the most important thing. So you giving me an hour of your time means everything to me. We never get our time back. You can't just create more time. So when you're giving your time to one thing, right? When you are saying yes to one thing, you need to make sure that everything else that you're saying no to at that time makes sense. So always make sure that you're putting yourself as a top priority as far as your health, your relationships, your finances, your mental health. These all need to be top priorities. Please share your link with us, Sabrina. Yeah, so it's sabrinavictoria.com is my website. And then the Facebook group where I'm super active is called hernation.life, hernation.life, or like period life. And that's where I spend most of my time. And when you see me, obviously you can connect with me on Facebook. I always connect in through my profile. And then my website obviously has all the other places, all my other social media. So you can connect with me on Insta, LinkedIn, and all of those places through my Sabrina Victoria website.
wonderful. Thank you so much for your time, Sabrina, and for sharing your magic with us. And we will catch up with you soon.
All right. Thank you.
Awesome. Bye for now.